folks, welcome to the live stream. And today, all right. We're gonna get into it here in a second. All right. As we get into Blacklist SMP Winter Edition. And we go in. All right, here we go. And here we go, folks, as we get into the Blacklist SMP Winter Edition. We're going on another mining trip in the Blacklist.
Because life, it goes by so fast.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Superman and Lois just released their final episode ever of the series, so press F to pay respects to the Arrowverse. It's officially the end of the
Alright, here we go.
DC TV on the CW. Isn't it fitting that this whole era began with Superman and ends with
Uh-oh. Alright, we battle the skeleton. Oh man.
give him a very saccharine version of an ending where he's just happy with his family and it's just any other day inside that Earth. But at the end of Superman and Lois, Superman defeats the final boss form of Doomsday with everyone's help, who in this universe is actually Bizarro, who Lex Luthor turned into Doomsday. I thought it was a cool twist behind the Doomsday origin. They even give Bizarro a close to his arc in a satisfying way too, where he briefly remembers his life before he turned into Bizarro and Doomsday, before everything went wrong for him, making it seem like he finally wanted to die, like he finally wanted it to all be over.
Uh,
Then all of them, including John Henry Irons and his daughter, just protect the world, helping Superman for the rest of his active life as Superman. They imply that he gets older and he starts slowing down, and the boys start to take over more and more as his duties as Superman. Part of the whole idea is that when Doomsday ripped Superman's heart out, they used Sam Lane's heart to revive him, but his Kryptonian cells didn't change Sam Lane's heart. He was still Superman with an older man's heart, so it weakened him significantly, caused him to age much faster too. Under normal circumstances, Superman ages so slowly that he doesn't live forever. He's not immortal, but his lifespan makes him seem functionally immortal. They show Jordan and Jonathan getting married, starting to have kids who are now a quarter Kryptonian, who will eventually get their own powers too, but won't ever be quite as powerful as the twins are, or as powerful as Superman was when he had his original heart. Lois Lane's cancer comes back. I think around her 60s, she winds up passing away. Superman continues living without her into his 70s, gets a dog, names it Krypto, of course. We're actually going to see Krypto in the upcoming Superman movie with David Cornswet. Then his heart gives out, and he almost dies the exact same way that his father, Jonathan Kent, died, in the exact same spot. It's meant to parallel his father's death. Kyle Cushing winds up getting him home, and he finally dies in bed like his mother, Martha, did, with Jordan and Jonathan there to be with him in his final moments. Then they get super meta with Ghost Superman, like he enters his spirit form and starts to transition to the afterlife, but they get super meta with it when he's crossing dimensional planes, so he starts to see this montage of older and younger versions of all these different families and people that he loves. If it wasn't clear, Lex
Alright, we got some
is
armor
mentally
now.
dead too. That's why he can feel Ghost Superman touching his body. So it's Ghost Lex and Ghost Superman finally making peace with each other. But because Lex is wearing black, they kind of imply that he might be in hell. going forward has been to start fresh with like 90% of the characters, especially the big A-list Justice League characters, meaning Superman, like David Corns with Superman. And now the powers that be are also deciding that the street isn't big enough to have two Supermen on it. When you zoom out and you really think about the era of DC TV between Smallville and Superman and Lois, a lot of things led to the decline of the Arrowverse in general. Mostly overexpansion, like they tried to do too many shows at the same time. Greg Berlanti, for example, had something like 6 or 7, maybe more DC TV shows that were going to air at the same time. And there were so many of them that at a certain point, they just had to start saying that some of them were not set in the Arrowverse because there were so many, and all the producers didn't want to deal with all the different shows. You probably remember this in the late 2010s, like it got real crazy right around the time Crisis on Infinite Earths was happening. If they had to do it all over again, personally, and I've seen Stephen Amell talk about this after Arrow ended too, and I kind of agree with the way he talked about it, they should have just stopped when they got to like 2 or 3 shows tops. Just Arrow, then The Flash, and then it should have been a Superman TV show. The problem is they had to do Supergirl because they wouldn't let them do Superman at the time because they weren't sure what they were going to do with Henry Cavill's Superman around the time they were developing the Supergirl TV show. They only let them do the Superman and Lois TV show after they tested out the Tyler Hoechlin Superman in a couple years after they decided they weren't really going to be doing anything with Henry Cavill Superman either. This was years before they were talking about bringing him back with the new management at DC when they were doing the Snyder Cut of Justice League. Basically, the dark times when nobody knew if you would ever see Superman in a movie ever again. That's when they said it was okay to do a Superman TV show. That being said, if DC TV, if the Arrowverse didn't try for what they did, we wouldn't have gotten Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is the most bonkers thing that you could possibly imagine. Imagine explaining this to like your 4-year-old self. There are 5 different TV shows that are all crossing over all in the same week. You will probably never see that happen again in your entire lifetime. So RIP to the Arrowverse, everyone press F to pay respects. My top 3 DC TV finales, just in general, are the Superman and Lois TV show, probably the best finale, I think, at least for right now. Then Crisis on Infinite Earths ending, that should have been an end for the Arrowverse. Like, that was a great finale bookend for the Arrowverse. It just ended it right there. The number 3 is the Smallville finale. I still like the way they ended the Smallville finale. But even though we're saying goodbye to the Arrowverse and DC TV on the CW, literally this week, we're starting the DCU, James Gunn's new rebooted DC universe with Creature Commandos, and it's been getting gangbusters reviews. Like, apparently it's a total banger. I haven't seen the episodes yet, but I will be doing episode videos for it. The way that James Gunn talked about it, the official beginning of the DCU is Creature Commandos, then the new Superman movie, then we start getting more of the big budget DC HBO shows like The Penguin, for example. Peacemaker, the Green Lantern series, there's a bunch of other stuff that they'll eventually announce in the future too. Basically just moving to that era of DC TV, like DC TV, but on HBO. It's kind of the same move that Marvel made when Disney Plus launched, so we will see what winds up happening long term. Generally, it seems like both Marvel and both DC are trying to reduce the amount of output and increase the quality by default, as opposed to, say, like DC TV and the Arrowverse, which is all about quantity over quality a lot of times. But like I said, there's a bunch of big stuff coming up. Be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss anything. Speaking of Superman-related stuff, click here to learn about Henry Cavill coming back to the Marvel Universe as a different character. And probably one of the other best superhero TV shows on TV right now that has nothing to do with DC, click here for that new Boys Season 5 teaser. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hold on, I'll bring back real quick. I'll be back real quick. Alright, I'm back, folks. We'll go back in.
Back, everyone. It's Charlie. Superman and Lois just released their final episode ever of the series, so press F to pay respects to the Arrowverse. It's officially the end of the era of DC TV on the CW. Isn't it fitting that this whole era... and Jonathan getting married, starting to have kids who are now a quarter Kryptonian who will eventually get their own powers too, but will never be quite as powerful as the twins are or as powerful as Superman was when he had his original heart. Lois Lane's cancer comes back. I think around her 60s, she winds up passing away. Superman continues living without her into his 70s, gets a dog, names it Krypto, of course. We're actually going to see Krypto in the upcoming Superman movie with David Cornswood. Then his heart gives out, and he almost dies the exact same way that he died, the exact same spot, just meant to parallel his father's death. Kyle Cushing winds up getting him home, and he finally dies in bed like his mother Martha did, with Jordan and Jonathan there to be with him in his final moments. Then they get super meta with Ghost Superman, like he enters his spirit form and starts to transition to the afterlife. Ironically being because Superman is supposed to have lived almost forever. So the whole idea is that in this universe, after his permadeath, Jordan and Jonathan take the mantle of Superman and just carry on business as usual on Earth, with their kids eventually becoming superheroes in their own right, and so on and so forth. But this is meant to be the official end of the Arrowverse and DC TV on the CW, as you have known it since the Smallville era. It began and now ends with Superman. The main reason why Superman and Lois is ending, because James Gunn did say that he liked the show, he
I
thought
think I'll
it
end it
was
off
solid
right
when he
here,
took over
folks.
DC, is because Warner Brothers, the
Well,
business,
thank you
felt
all
like
for
the overlords
watching.
above James Gunn. And this is a quote coming directly from a CW
And that's it
executive
for this
recently.
one.
Warner Brothers and
So thank you all
DC
for watching.
don't want a competing product in the marketplace when they're about to